Happy holidays, my friend. I am taking a little break over the holidays, as we all should be. So these are the best of replays of 2025. This means these are the 4 episodes that you, as my listeners, played the most often. So I wanted to give them another highlighted spot on the show so that you could check in with them again, or if you missed it, get to hear it for the first time. I hope they bring you some inspiration, clarity, and comfort this holiday season. And just remember, it is never too late to start reconnecting and start restoring your body. If you are feeling the pull, it is now. It is time to jump in. And my online 12-week on-demand program, Restore, inside my Pelvic Floor Core and More app is the place to be. This is the last beta stage that will be released for this program, and in 2026 the price is doubling because the beta stage is coming to an end. So if you want a chance to dive in on this big savings and get not only 12 weeks of lessons and a 5-minute workout and a 12-minute workout each week, but also manual therapy bonuses, a vaginal assessment bonus, a nutrition guide, and 6-week nutrition plan, and lots more bonus modules coming at you, now is the time. It is such an awesome program. We are changing lives inside of Restore, and I hope that you check it out. If not, download the Pelvic Floor Core and More app because there are some free masterclasses inside of there. Just check the link in the show notes below for all the information. But otherwise, I will let you get back to this year's best of replay, and I will see you back here in 2026 with new, fresh content. Hey, I'm your host, Dr. Desiree Cassell. I'm an orthopedic and pelvic floor physical therapist specializing in women's health, aka pelvic floor. I'm a wife, mom of 3, foodie, lover of all things movement and nature, and I'm super passionate about educating, empowering, and supporting other women like you to find and maintain balance throughout all aspects of their lives, without pain, pressure, or peeing their pants. And this is the Balanced Momtality Podcast, where we will talk about all things pelvic floor, your core, and optimizing your pregnancy, birth, and postpartum recovery, providing you with the knowledge and tools so that you can feel like the strong, playful, and happy mom that you and your family deserve. Now let's get you out of those pads and back to loving movement. Fill up your water, pop in those AirPods, roll out your mat, and let's connect. Before we start today's episode, just a quick disclaimer that anything mentioned in this podcast is not meant to treat or diagnose any medical conditions. If you have any questions or concerns about your healthcare needs, please seek the care of your medical provider. This is also a safe space where we will be talking about very sensitive but important topics, such as issues with peeing and pooping, relationships, and even sex. So if you have littles around, probably a good idea to pop those AirPods in. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hey girl, we are back with another week on the Balanced Momtality Podcast. I hope you caught last week because it was such a special episode, so near and dear to my heart. I did it for my birthday and also for a worldwide initiative called Podcastathon, which essentially is just getting hundreds and thousands of podcasters all over the world to help bring awareness to amazing nonprofits and charity organizations that are helping make our world a better place. So last week, I was so thrilled to have my dear darling grandma, Sally Fellers, on my show to talk about the David Fellers Healing Art Foundation, which is a foundation that my grandma and my family started after the passing of my uncle, who had pretty severe cerebral palsy. He was very debilitated and was a quadriplegic. My grandma had to take care of him like he was a baby for his entire life, but he was so lucky to have all the resources that we have here in America that helped him live almost twice as long as the doctors thought he would. And my grandma, being the angel that she is, just thought that these resources should be available to everybody. And so this nonprofit that she created is helping to raise money for prosthetics and wheelchairs and life-saving medicine and food and even just house repairs. Some of these houses, you guys, they are on stilts down there in third world countries with holes in the floorboards. You can see the ground from the floor. They don't have ramps to even get these people that need wheelchairs into their homes. So just making things more accessible so that these people can be out in the community and thrive, and so that the community can see these people as the blessings that they are, because that is one thing my Uncle David really taught me. He was trapped in this body like a prisoner, and he just glowed with so much love and radiate light and positivity despite his circumstances. And it is all about perspective, and he was surrounded by love, and my grandma wanted to help share that love. So if you want to hear more about her story and the nonprofit and just how amazing she is and all the work that she is doing, please go check out last week's episode and please go make a donation. She mentions that even $10 can buy these little kids shoes for their prosthetics. It will buy them medicine. $50 will help get a walker. We can get a wheelchair for just a couple $100. This is not life-altering money, but it is life-altering products and equipment that we can help give to other people. We are making the world a better place one person at a time. So please go listen to that episode and check out my grandma's nonprofit and just help spread the word. 100% of donations go directly to the people in need. None of that money is used for travel, transporting those goods, any of that. That all comes out of my grandma's pocket. So know that your money is going to a great place if you are donating to the David Fellers Healing Art Foundation. And that link is in the show notes from last week's episode. So go make sure to check it out. But you guys, I am having so much fun over here, not only in the podcast, but if you don't know already, I had launched an app earlier this year, Pelvic Floor, Core, and More, and good, exciting things are coming for the podcast and just my brand as a whole. I have been toying with this for a while in terms of rebranding my podcast, and some of you might have already started to notice that some things are changing. And so the podcast has been The Balanced Momtality. This is my clinic name as well. I have an in-person practice here in Los Alamos, New Mexico with that name. And while I do love that name and it means so many different things to me, and I feel like it encompasses so much of what I want to embody and what I want my patients to embody, and just trying to thrive in all areas of our lives, but also just trying to be present and aware of all of those aspects, not just physical, but mental and spiritual and emotional, and not just nutrition, but our exercise and, herbal supplements and our energy and tapping for emotional support. There are so many parts of our lives and our health and our wellness that we need to keep an eye on. And that's kind of what the balanced momtality idea is, that we're trying to keep this sense of awareness of all these different areas. Not that we are actually going to be doing 100% effort in all of these areas, because that is literally impossible. The math just doesn't add up. So just know that that's not what balanced means, especially from my perspective and what my company is. It is really more about just that awareness that we have to keep an eye on different areas of our lives, put energy in all these different areas of our lives, but in a sustainable way where we're not feeling like we're failing at everything because we're trying to give everything 100%. Some areas are going to need more attention and effort than others in different phases of your life. And so I do want to hold on to this balanced momtality concept, and it is me and my company. However, I am really realizing that, especially with this podcast, while maybe it will grow back into being the balanced momtality and really being all things, not just pelvic floor wellness. And I know we still talk about all those things, which is why I was so torn. But I do think I am rebranding the name of my podcast to be Pelvic Floor, Core, and More with the Balanced Momtality. So I'm still here. It's still me, but it is going to be Pelvic Floor, Core, and More. The cover art and intro music and all of that is going to be updated here coming soon. We are about to be almost 2 years exactly since I started this podcast, which is just mind-blowing. I feel like I have been doing this for a while, but at the same time, I feel like a newbie and I'm still figuring this thing out. But it has honestly been such a fun journey, and it's been something I really look forward to doing every week because I just love getting the feedback from you guys that these episodes are helping you. I get messages from women all over the world with all these different conditions that they are feeling so isolated about, and the podcast is what helps give them hope and a community and a sense that they are heard and not alone. And just those messages have made this so worth it. But I love to hear from you. This is what helps keep me going, and knowing that you guys are listening and finding this information valuable. So I really want to encourage you to share the information, share my podcast on your social media, tag me in it. I would love to see what you're getting out of my show and just help me spread this knowledge, because there are so many people out there claiming to know all the things, and it can make it so confusing and frustrating. And I want this content to find those of you that need it. And that happens with the help of you guys sharing the information, giving me a 5-star review so that the algorithm knows that I am not just some nonsense podcast over here, and just help me spread the word. But I wanted to bring this up because inside my app, Pelvic Floor, Core, and More, which is a new adventure I have started this last year, which is so exciting. It's been on my goals for a long time to have a passive income stream and an online option for more virtual care and group coaching. And just, I wanted the door to open for a more online virtual aspect arm of my company. And I toyed around with what that should look like, an online program or, this app concept. And ultimately, I went with the app because it just is going to allow so much growth. I have completely redone the program that I was going to originally post and launch. And now, instead of being this 8-week program, Pelvic Floor, Core, and More is now hosting the Restore 12-week program. So we have added on an entire month. I told you guys, I just want you to know all the things. And for those of you that were my beta testers and got in at that ground level, you are lucky because you are getting all the things at that lower price. And I just want to put this out there because this community is growing. This program is active and it is there for you whenever you are ready. Pelvic Floor, Core, and More is a free app. So go download it. You'll get access to tracking features where you can keep an eye on how often you're going to the bathroom, how often you're pooping, how are you sleeping, how's your pain, when are you leaking, how's your stress, all these things that I talk to my patients about regularly that they should be keeping an eye on. So you get free access to those tracking features, and you also get free access to the first week of the Restore program. And inside that first week, this is essentially a Pelvic Floor 101 masterclass. So if you want in on a free masterclass, Pelvic Floor, Core, and More is the way to go. I am giving you my full Pelvic Floor 101 webinar where you're learning all about what the pelvic floor is, what it does, what it looks like when it's not functioning properly, and what you need to start looking at to start restoring that system. And it gives you an idea of what the outline is for the rest of that Restore program. But there is also a timed 5-minute pelvic floor breathwork and mobility workout in that free week. So you can just hit start, take the guesswork out, and show up for 5 minutes of breathwork and mobility every single day without having to wonder what you need to do, and just knowing that there is access to more of those if you decide to join the 12-week Restore program, because each week of that Restore program, there is a lesson in a module where we're learning and looking at what we are focusing on that week and what you're really trying to bring into the intention of your day-to-day that week. And then there is both a 5 and 20-minute workout option so that you can pick what fits into your day that day. Don't feel like you have to do all the things. This is bringing you access to a sustainable lifestyle change, taking the guesswork out. You just have to show up and hit start. And if you join my Restore program, you will get access to me, where you can ask questions within our private community inside the app. This is a feature you don't get access to unless you join my Restore program, and you are asking questions on the spot. I can watch your exercises, help guide you, help navigate how you want to move through the program so we can make it more individualized for you. So whether you are pregnant, postpartum, having dysfunction like leaking or prolapse or pain, or maybe you just want to be preventive and proactive, this program is for you. So go check it out. And if you have any more questions, let me know, because so many good things are happening inside this program. We are on week 7 live right now in the Restore program. And it's so fun because we were about to be done. Next week would be week 8, and that was it. But I thought, you know what? They need to know about this too. So now we have an advanced core module added on. We have a module on how to break down your impact and fitness routine so that you can create that program that works for you once you're moving beyond my program. I have a module on how to bring total body movements and connect everything that you've used throughout the program into correlating for all the other functional movements that you do throughout your day-to-day, and so many good bonuses. You guys, there is a 30-page nutrition guide inside this program. I have a manual therapy bonus module that breaks down different manual therapy and soft tissue mobilization techniques that I use regularly on myself and teach my patients to do. And it's all parts of the body because this is a whole body program. We are starting at the pelvic floor and core, but that's why it's called pelvic floor, core, and more. We are moving beyond this to also look at what is happening above. There is a whole week where we look at what is your rib cage doing? What are your shoulders doing? What is your head and neck doing? And then another whole week where we look below. How are your foot, ankle, knees, hips functioning? How are they impacting each other? And now we're tying it all together. And this manual therapy bonus is looking at how can we release pelvic floor internally? How can we release it externally? How can we work on pelvic alignment by ourselves? How can we release and mobilize our feet? How can we release and mobilize our ribs and our head and our soft tissue muscles all around our body? So this is just the beginning. And inside my group coaching call and inside this program, I had a great feedback from one of the members who had an idea for another bonus module, and it kind of sparked this podcast episode because she was wanting to see just a little routine that she could do on the days where she was so tired, because even though there's just a 5-minute option here, she's showing up for that, but she just found out she's pregnant. So she's like, I am so tired. I am just not able to get in what I thought I could during this program. I wanted to get this program done before I got pregnant, but the universe had other plans. And this is life, right? Things happen. We can't plan for our lives to be this perfect situation. We can't wait for our exercises to happen during the quiet time where nothing else is going on and we have the energy for it, because then it never happens. If you're a mom, you probably already know this. We cannot wait for those perfect scenarios. In fact, we have to plan for the shitstorm. We have to plan to do our exercises in the moments where our kids are on the floor already playing and awake. We can't wait for them to be down for a nap, because they might not ever go down for that nap. And then you're sitting there day after day, week after week, waiting for that perfect time. And it just doesn't exist. And even if it did exist, you might be exhausted and tired and nauseous and not feeling like doing anything in those moments. And so I just thought this was a brilliant idea for a bonus module, and that content will be added into the Restore program. If you want all the details on it, please go download Pelvic Floor Core and More, because that bonus will be added shortly. We are going to have a floor routine, a couch routine, a bed routine, a desk routine, all laid out there. So you can just, again, hit start and move through with me while you're exhausted, taking the guesswork out, and it is very low key. But I wanted to talk about it here on the podcast just because this concept is not new, right? We are all busy. We are all overwhelmed. We all feel like we have no time. These are all the excuses I hear regularly. And yes, they are excuses because even though they're real and they're valid, it is not your reality. There is time. You do have the energy. It's just, where are you putting it? Where are you prioritizing your time? Where are you prioritizing your energy? And I've talked about this many times in the past. You have to prioritize yourself first, or the other things will always take priority. They will always be there. There will always be more things to pick up off the floor, more laundry to fold, more dishes to clean, more errands to run, more. That will always fill the space. So choose you first and then do the other things. But for sake of today, I wanted to just give you guys some ideas of what you could do on those days where you truly are wiped and you're like, I just don't even want to think about rolling out my mat and getting on the floor right now. Like, I'm stuck in bed. I don't want to move. And that's okay, because guys, I have these days too. And it is not the end of the world. Consistency does not mean you're showing up perfectly every day. And I've mentioned this in recent podcast episodes too. It just means you keep showing up. So on those days where you're feeling crappy, your showing up is just some breath work. Don't put pressure on yourself to get into the 20-minute routine or even do any strength or even go out on a walk if you don't feel up for it. Although we do have to kind of remember, a little movement can add energy to our fuel tank. So sometimes it takes a little self-talk to get you into an exercise, or take that walk and then ultimately you feel way better after. But I know I've been there before too, and I've easily talked myself out of that walk and out of that exercise routine. And that doesn't mean our day has to be a wash, because frankly, on those days, you probably need the rest, especially if it's that time of your month, your hormones are crashing, you need to take advantage of it. Or maybe you're pregnant, or you've got a little baby that keeps waking you up in the middle of the night. Sleep is important, and we need to listen to our body. Now, if you're feeling day after day after day after day after day, you have zero energy, then we do need to reevaluate. And sometimes during first trimester, that's just our reality, and our priorities are sleep, nutrition, and stress management. And if you get a little walking in and a little workout in, that is amazing, but don't put that pressure on yourself when you're starting to grow that little human. I know I was never more tired in my life than during that first trimester. So give yourself grace. I know it doesn't look like it, but you are growing a freaking human being, and that is amazing. So productivity does not always mean action. Rest can sometimes be the most productive thing you do. So just make sure you're really prioritizing rest and recovery when your body is telling you you need it. You know, I also had a friend post that she could not wake up. She slept through her alarm. She was giving herself a hard time because she missed her morning workout. And I was like, you know what? Take that guilt away, because your body obviously needed the sleep, and that's okay. That's what you needed. And had you gotten up, forced yourself through that routine, you probably would have spiked cortisol that morning and put your body in a state of stress, held on to all the fat you ate that day, right? And then you just wouldn't feel good about yourself either, because you're feeling sluggish and you're just in stress mode. And if we give our body and honor our body and give it the rest and recovery it needs, we do feel better. But just know that even on those days where you're feeling sluggish and you don't have the energy, that's okay, because even just bringing that intention to those breath and to the movements that you've worked through in the past in positions like the bed or the couch. Most of these are very relaxing positions, like happy baby, for example. You are already lying down. So even if you don't want to put a mat out on the floor, when you're in bed, just pull those legs up into happy baby and do a nice deep breath, 3 to 5 breaths, really open up that pelvic floor space. And then why don't we roll onto your side and get some nice side breathing? Breathe into the floor and into your hand that's cupping your rib cage. Focus more on some rib cage lateral expansion. Get the sides of your trunk to expand. Then roll over onto your belly into child's pose. Do it again there, bringing the emphasis now to your tailbone and your back and really trying to expand the back side of your body. Then to your other side for the other side expansion. And now you just did 4 different breathing positions in bed, just rolling around in positions you would have been in anyway. Not all, right? We're not going to sleep in child's pose, but it's not that hard to just roll over, curl up into child's pose and do a few breaths. And maybe you just do one or 2 of those, and that is also okay. So I hope this just gave you, 1, a little permission to rest and take it slow and take those days of recovery if you need it. But 2, if you're feeling like it is day after day after day, just know this doesn't have to be some big drawn out routine where you get the mat out and roll around on the floor for 10 to 20 minutes. We can do 1 to 2 minutes of breath work in the evening on the couch, on the bed, on the floor if you're already there. There are so many places these breath work positions can be done, and it can make such a difference, because on those days where you are wiped, your body's probably a little tight, especially if you aren't moving as much. And that breath work can come in and just make sure you're telling that nervous system to chill out and also stretch out those internal muscles that might be starting to get tight, and just start coordinating and building that sense of control with that core system using your breath. And then one of the best things we can do, because you're already probably moving around, petering around the house, maybe you're picking up kiddos still throughout the day and laundry and all these things. So if we just bring some awareness to your bracing and you're turning that brace on and thinking about how you're breathing throughout that, that's also amazing. Way better than nothing. You're saving your body from injury and you are getting a little workout in throughout your day. So let's take the stress off and also just start thinking of these little ways that you can plug in the breath work and gentle bracing when you're just chilling and relaxing in the evening and when you're already functioning and moving around the house. Obviously, we're not going to see big progress if this is all you're doing every single day, but that's what consistency looks like. You might do a day like this where you're only doing a little breath work in bed at the end of the day and you're thinking of bracing throughout the day. And then the next day, maybe you have the energy for a walk. And then maybe the next day you're back to being in bed and doing breath work. And then the next day when you're feeling good, you're going to try and get in that 20-minute stability routine. That's how change is made. You keep showing up, you listen to your body, you honor what it tells you it can do that day, and you just keep showing up. That is the key. So don't let exhaustion or pregnancy or illness or whatever the stress is going on in your life halt your goals. Yes, maybe it means that progress is going to be a little slower, and maybe you can't show up as intensely or at full capacity like you thought you could, but that doesn't mean you can't show up. So let's keep making those steps forward. And if you're wanting more guidance or insight into that bonus module to learn all about routines you can do when you're exhausted, or what other manual therapy techniques you can do when you're exhausted, because those are other great things that can be really low energy when you're sitting on the couch in the evening, just rolling that lacrosse ball on your inner thighs, sitting on that lacrosse ball and getting an external pelvic floor release when you're watching TV in the evening. Lots of things that we can do when we're just hanging out. Bonus tip here, if you've got a long foam roller, put it out in the living room and lie on it where it is parallel with your spine, touching your sacrum and the other end touching your head, and then just let your arms hang out. Feel a nice gentle chest stretch. Get that nice deep breath into your body. That mobilization from the foam roller and gravity is just going to help align your spine, open up your chest, and offset our postural tension that usually happens from sitting all day. So again, lots of awesome things we can do even when we don't feel like doing it. So I bet you're doing way better than you're thinking. Give yourself some credit and a pat on the back, and just keep showing up for this podcast, because I've got more fun stuff coming your way, whether it's the Balanced Momtality or Pelvic Floor Core and more. It's always me, Dr. Desiree Cassell, here to tell you more things that you can do to just keep an eye on all the things you are balancing and making sure that you are feeling good while you're doing it. Well, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day. I know you've got so many other important things going on, but I hope it was helpful and you leave here with some tools to help you in your healing journey. And I just want to ask you, if you have found this helpful, to please leave a review on iTunes. Scroll down to the bottom of my podcast page and leave that 5-star review so it can help other women see this information. And also, if you want to be a part of my community of amazing women trying to balance all the things, great tips and insight and sharing stories and just motivating each other along the way, feel free to join my Facebook group, The Balanced Momtality, Wellness and Support. I hope to see you here next time on the Balanced Momtality podcast.